lesson 1 of the spring course of 2021. We have a double subject today. The planned subject is ahimsa, non-violence, but we start first with an explanation of Shiva and Shakti. Everybody attended the introduction workshop, right?
No.
Except Jessica. Okay. Because this was in fact explained at the workshop. Shiva and Shakti. Not many people are familiar with Shiva and Shakti, but everybody is familiar with Yin and Yang. Now, the reason why we have this as an extra subject, this is actually material for lesson 12. But the most important thing to start with, to know, is that in yoga, everything is about energy. While most people think that yoga is about physical exercise, acrobatism, it's a holistic science. It's a science of mankind. And like with Oriental medicine, it is based on the idea that everything is energy. In the beginning, it's very difficult to grasp, to understand. But once you get it, all the pieces of the puzzle fall into place and it becomes a beautiful, living science, in fact. The Yin and Yang model is not yoga. It's Chinese. But everybody knows it, so it's easy to explain. Because it reflects the same principle. So everything is energy. So what is energy? Energy consists out of two polarities, two opposites, plus and minus. Yin and Yang. However, this is Chinese, so in Sanskrit it's called Shiva and Shakti. There is a dark half and there is a light half. The dark half has a white eye, the light half has a dark eye. Looks very nice as a decoration. So nice that some people have jewelry with a Yin Yang model or a tattoo. Without understanding what this really means, this has a very deep meaning because it basically reflects energy, the plus and the minus. So you have dark and light, plus and minus. But it's not that simple. Because the light side has a dark eye. And the dark side has a light eye. That is not for decoration. In ancient philosophy, there is no decoration, there is no luxury. Everything has a meaning that often has gone lost in our modern times. The light eye in the dark side is the minus of the two polarities, is an indication that although minus, it carries characteristics of the other polarity. And the light side, which is the plus or the masculine form of energy, has a dark eye, which is an indication that it carries characteristics of the other polarity. Complicated, a little bit, unpractical maybe, but this is a model of me and you. I am masculine, but according to this model, I have a feminine side. And I know that. Most people don't, so they identify with what they see in the mirror. I'm a girl, I'm a boy. But girls have masculine characteristics, boys have feminine characteristics. And that can vary in amount. There are girls who are very masculine. There are girls who are very girlish. There are men who are very macho, very tough guys. And there are men who also can be girlish. And everything in between. What is interesting about this is that in life, especially where it comes to finding a partner with whom you want to share your life, there has to be a balance. If I'm very girlish as a man, the kind of woman I will fit with is a woman that is rather masculine. A woman who is more girlish will not fit with me. There is no harmony, no balance. If I'm a very tough guy, very macho guy, I will feel attracted to a girl who's very girlish. Simply, that is the law of harmony. So pay attention to this, because very often we as human beings end up in relationships that do not match. Because we don't understand, we are kind of blinded by other considerations, often material considerations, expectations. But if there is no harmony, it will lead to conflict in the relationship. This is also very important. Shiva and Shakti. Ancient philosophy is all described in symbolism, symbolical language. And there's a lot of gods and deities and holy spirits and what have you. It's all symbolism. Ancient people were not rational thinking like you and I. We are very rational because since we were born, we were educated very strictly, very systematically. From the age of 3 or 4, you go to school and you stay in school full time until you are 20 years old or even older. And that has totally transformed your brain. A transformation that ancient people didn't have. Ancient people thought and communicated in symbolical language. And we don't understand that. That is why there is so much misunderstanding about yoga. It is why there is so much misunderstanding about the Bible or other holy books, which are all written by those ancient people in symbolical language. Shiva is a male god, a male. And yet, the feminine energy is called Shiva, which is the name of a male god. Strange, huh? Shakti is a goddess, often pictured with many arms, goddess of dance. She represents the masculine side. This is very important. In this yoga course, you will be properly initiated into the deepest secrets of yoga. No joke. And it starts with this. Because many so-called authorities in yoga, they will tell you that Shakti, that is the feminine energy, because it's a feminine god. Shiva, that is a warlord. That is a man, a warrior. He represents the masculine energy. Makes sense, doesn't it? Logical, isn't it? No. The white side has a black eye, the black side has a white eye. And that is what you see reflected in the opposite naming of these polarities. Many authorities in yoga, so-called authorities in yoga, many books written about yoga, they make this mistake, saying that Shakti is feminine energy, Shiva is masculine. If you have a book that makes this statement, you know that the author is not properly initiated in yoga. You can basically throw away the book. They just repeat something that they have read somewhere or somebody told them, and they just parrot whatever it is without actually investigating. Write this down and remember this, because this will distinguish you from other yogis, most other yogis. Now, why is this important? Because you and I, we are energy. And all the problems that we face in life have to do with energy. So if you understand that, and you learn the tools, how to generate energy and how to balance that energy, it will incredibly improve your quality of life. Not only physically will you become healthier and stronger, but mentally you will be much happier as a result. It's all about energy. There are 3 conditions. Tamas is a condition where Shiva energy is dominating. Too much Shiva energy. Rajas is the opposite. Shakti energy is dominating. The condition that we are looking for and that yoga is designed to bring about is called sattva. Which is the balance between the two. Now you think, oh yeah, nice theory from Indian philosophy, but that doesn't apply to me or my life. It does. When you are in a tamas condition, you are lazy, lethargic. You have a tendency towards negative thought. Depression occurs in that condition. When you are in a rajas condition, you are exhilarated. You feel exhilarated, excited, active, and with that, you feel more positive, and you are able to control your thoughts in a creative way. A control of thoughts that goes lost in a tamas condition. Sattva is a condition in which Shiva and Shakti are relatively balanced. Harmony occurs. That is a condition where in holy books, this condition is described as paradise, heaven. When you are in a sattva condition, all kinds of wonderful things happen. You become contemplative. Real wisdom does not come from books. Problem solving, the quality of problem solving, the ability to solve problems, does not come from books. It comes from the moments that you are in a sattva condition, which in a normal human being occurs once in a while, occasionally, as a coincidence, as a result of the circumstances you find yourself in being ideal for a sattva condition. That's usually when you're not busy with work, when you have no conflict at home or at work, and you are just relaxed, and you sit on a bench in the park, feeling the sun on your skin, the wind in your hair, and suddenly you have a bright idea or an insight, an epiphany. That can only happen in sattva. So, you see, this is not just a theory, this determines your life. Because the greatest managers, the greatest leaders, they have the ability to be in sattva. The one quality that a leader needs is insight, wisdom, understanding complex problems. You cannot just buy a company and say, from today, I'm the president of this company. You will probably bankrupt a company within a year if you do like that. Leaders are nurtured. They grow. If you've ever been in the offices, the headquarters of big companies, you understand this. Have you ever been in the offices of big companies? Before I came to Korea, I took care of plants, tropical plants, indoor plants. So I would go with my car and all my equipment around the northern province of the Netherlands and go to ING Bank, other RABO Bank, insurance companies, hospitals, smaller companies, Shell, multinational companies. They don't give water to the plants themselves because that's a disaster. They always die. They hire us to take care of those plants. And when the plants die, we replace them. All they have to do is pay the bills, we take care of the rest. Beautiful plants. In Korea, if you understand this and you move around and you go to certain places, you will see the nice plants here and there. I've been in the headquarters of many big companies, Schiphol Airport, in The Hague, where the politicians are seated, located. People in leader positions, the board of directors of these big companies, they're always located on the highest floor of the building. That floor is closed off. Nobody can get there unless you have a key or an electronic card that allows the elevator to go one floor higher. The lower you go in the building, the more chaos, the more distraction, the more noise. So the print shop is in the basement. The facilities manager and the people who take care of the provisions, the running of the building, the heating, the air conditioning, it's all below. And the higher you go, the higher the management, the quieter it gets. Then when you reach the top floor, there is carpet this thick. There are butlers walking around that peel fresh fruit for the directors. Fresh coffee, super quiet. Every director has an office as big as this yoga studio with a mahogany desk, with marble on the floor, on the walls, beautiful materials, expensive. And they have the most expensive, exquisite plants. And a bay window. They always have a view over the city or over the countryside. I've been in buildings in Amsterdam where you could actually see the coast, the North Sea, which is 30 kilometers away. Why do they do this? Why do they spend so much money on the board of directors and the president of the company? To create a condition of sattva. They don't have a mat or a yoga cushion, which is much cheaper than the marble and the mahogany. They have butlers and luxury and total silence. And I've observed those people going into their offices to take care of their plants, And they're sitting there doing nothing. They have 6 newspapers because they have to know everything that is happening in the world. Or more than 6. Internet, fresh coffee, and they're staring out of the bay window. It looks like they are doing nothing. But in that sattva, they make decisions that concern thousands of people who have a family, who need to pay the bills. They make decisions about millions, even billions of dollars or euros of trade, of transactions. That is how big companies are made successful, profitable. And that is why those people are being pampered. They're taken care of. They don't have to do anything themselves other than using contemplation to keep the company running and profitable. So this is what yoga is about. The yoga that you are learning is called Raja Yoga for a reason. A Raja is a leader, is a king. You become a natural leader as a result of this development. But of course, it is something that we have to work for. One thing we need to do, of course, is engage. We need to do exercises that generate energy, but not only generate energy. To generate energy, you can go to a gym or go jogging on the riverside or ride a bicycle, which is nice. It's really good. But yoga, because of the insights of the ancient yogis, they came to the conclusion that we should not just generate energy just at random. It has to be in a controlled way. And that is why asana is practiced in the particular way that we do. So not only do you generate energy, you also, in the process, try to create harmony in the energy that you are generating. Why do we need yoga? Because humankind is subject to the laws of the universe. As a result of the process of the universe, energy is always contracting, solidifying. The theory goes that first, in the Bible they say, John, first there was the Word. And it doesn't explain what that means. It just starts with some anecdote or story. Chapter of John. First there was the Word. Yoga has the same kind of philosophy, only they tell the story in a different way. First there was Om, which is a word. It's a vibration. Om is pure harmony. Then the Big Bang came. Modern scientists call it the Big Bang. You know how ancient people describe this? The fall from paradise. Adam and Eve fell from paradise. Adam and Eve appear to be a man and a woman in the story, but they are symbolisms. They are Shiva and Shakti. The harmony became disturbed, and that is why they fell from paradise. We call it a subtle desire that disturbs the peace, the harmony, leading to a vibration. Energy starts to contract. So pure energy you cannot see or feel, but it can appear in a vibration. If energy continues to contract, it manifests as gas. Then it manifests as liquid. And then it manifests as solid matter. Your physical body is a product of that process. The Earth, the other planets, the stars, are a product of this process of condensation of energy, with the last station of the process being solid matter. So we are subject to this natural tendency in the universe to contract, and because of that, we are facing tragedy. Human beings have a natural tendency to be in a tamas condition. And remember the characteristics I described about the tamas condition? Lethargic, lazy, tendency towards negative thought, uncontrolled thought production, thought flow, depression, which is one of the biggest complaints people have. Without, people say, oh, I feel so gloomy today. I'm suffering from depression. I don't even know why. I just feel so. Well, this explains why. And if you understand this, you also know that you can do something about it. As long as you're busy, most people, as long as we're busy, we generate energy. It leads to Shakti domination. But there comes a time you must rest. And generally we have created, the world in which we live, we have created a routine in which we work 5 days, basically exhausting ourselves. Saturday, Sunday we are free. Saturday we use for cleaning the house, going to the supermarket, cook some food, maybe meet a friend if we have some time left. But Sunday is the day that we stay in bed. So we need that naturally. If you are too much rajas, the only way to restore balance is to allow tamas to recover you. That is what happens on Sunday. But on Sunday, if you're the least bit sensitive and you have a bit of discipline, later in the afternoon, after being lazy all morning and early afternoon, you become a little bit itchy. You get tired of yourself being so lazy. So you grab your bike and you start riding your bike on the riverside, or you go make a walk with your family or your partner, or you go to the gym, but you move. And when you move, you shift from the tamas condition to rajas and you start feeling good again. But you notice it's up and down. You go up and down, and it seems that there is no control. So the universe came into being like this. First there was total peace, total harmony, but it started to undulate. It started to become disharmonious. And this is where energy manifests into matter. This is called Anu. It's very interesting that ancient yogis, long before they had sophisticated tools like microscopes and what have you, computers, they understood the structure of matter. Anu means atom. Atom you can't see with your eye. But in contemplation, in this condition, ancient people practiced science. All the knowledge that we have from the ancient world was obtained in this condition, not by studying, not by having degrees, not by reading books. They didn't even exist yet, but by sheer contemplation. And the Indian yogis of the past, the seers of the past, they developed insight into how matter came into being. So this is the story of Adam and Eve, but then from another culture, from another perspective. So we are always in motion. We're always fluctuating like a ping pong between tamas and rajas. That is why we're never fully at ease. Sometimes, if we can afford it, and if there is no coronavirus, we buy a ticket, an airplane ticket, and we go to a nice place somewhere where we can just spend 2 or 3 weeks doing nothing. That is a way to come to sattva. Yoga proposes a way to do it in a controlled way, so that even when you're busy, even when circumstances are not favorable, you are the boss. You decide whether you want to be disturbed or whether you stay in harmony. Now that's not easy, and that is why we have a very systematic framework, very efficient framework. If you go through that in 4.5 months when this course is finished, you'll be a completely transformed human being. I promise you that. When you understand this a little bit also, you understand why we stick to the traditional approach of yoga practice. For many modern day people, traditional yoga practice is boring. Why? No music, no talking, no movement. Oh my God, these are all these things that I need to just keep myself busy and distracted. But once you feel sattva, which is very easy, it's not just a word, mysterious word, but once you experience sattva, which I hope you did when you came to the introduction workshop, you become addicted to yoga. Like I became addicted after the very first time that I experienced something that looked like yoga. Remember the story of the basketball coach that told us to sit down and grab the big toe? It felt like healing medicine flowing through my battered body. It was so nice. I went to the library, I got a book about yoga, and since then started practicing yoga every day. And it totally changed my life. It changed my destiny, believe it or not. But before the end of the course, you will understand what I'm talking about. Because along the way, I will tell you many personal stories also, personal experiences also, that would not have been possible without yoga. Okay, questions about Shiva Shakti, Sattva, energy household? Okay, let me see if I forgot something. No. Okay.